All right. So my
All right.
first question: Who are you, and what are you known for?
Hi, so I'm Razzledazzle. I'm known for making Olaf's layout videos. So they have a few thousand views. Before that, I've been a level designer for Minecraft and for Counter-Strike for about 10 years now. In Counter-Strike, I started right about during the pandemic, and my best map is Dumbo, which some people might have heard of.
Nice. Okay. Well, that leads nicely into my second question. Firstly, I love Dumbo. I've given it a try. I've had an explore around. I think it's a really unique map. Super like interesting design. I remember I found it before I knew who you were, and I was like, that is cool. And I was like, oh shit, that's a okay. I see the connection. Um, but
Thanks.
so you said you started working on Counter Strike maps in uh COVID,
In
right? In
2019, yeah.
29, just pre-COVID. Um, were you doing any other like mapping prior to that? I mean, obviously with Minecraft, but when I talked to T1, he talked a lot about like if any game had a level editor, he would at least give it a shot. Were you kind of similar, or?
Oh yeah. I actually started out with Mario. I did things in
Oh,
the Mario Maker, yeah. And then after that, I was working on Happy Wheels levels. I don't know
no
if you ever played
way!
Happy Wheels.
All the
Yeah.
time.
When I was in middle school, I made a level that got 4,000 plays.
And that's
Not
like
gonna brag.
that's like hitting a gold mine in Happy Wheels terms. I,
Yeah.
like
No, it was
statistically,
silly.
I think we're around the same age. If I had to guess, from your videos,
Yeah,
um,
probably.
I'm
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 23. I'm turning 23 this week, actually.
I'm 23. I turned 24 in March, so yeah, it's statistically I probably played your map. Um, if it was in
That's
middle
crazy.
school, uh, so with Counter Strike specifically, what sparked your interest in making Counter Strike maps?
You know, believe it or not, I actually didn't know it was possible for a really long time. So I already had 2,000 hours in the game, and I had never even
Okay.
heard of Hammer or like community map making. I knew that like FM Pwn had made maps, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought that you had to know like Unreal Engine and
Mm.
Blender and all sorts of complicated stuff to make maps. And one day I was watching a Three Clicks Phillips video, or maybe it was the War Owl. Do you remember
Mm.
Amigo? Did you ever watch his videos?
No, we can get to my history with Counter Strike in a little bit because that's
All
a
right,
whole different story. But I do know three
good.
clips and I do know Warel.
Yeah, well, he was War Owl was making a map called Amigo a long time ago now,
Mm-hmm.
in a devlog series, and I watched it and it inspired me so much that I decided to download the editor and give it a shot. And I mean, it was a pandemic, so I kind of locked myself in my basement, and I just like went ham. Uh, I literally didn't get off the editor for like 2 months straight, maybe more. I was
Wow.
just map making, map making, map making. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I really fell in love with it. It's great. It's like you're making your own little world,
Mm.
and you can make all the decisions. It's so much fun.
And that
Yeah,
was this is a question I throw out that I didn't include in the list. But so if you started in 2019, that does that mean you were working with her? No, I don't know what it's called. Source One, I guess. Were you working with the Source One hammer?
yeah, I was.
You brave soul.
That
I
was that was different. Yeah,
And how was the transition over to Source Two?
it was actually really hard. I ended up dropping mapping for almost a year because
Wow.
I didn't want to learn the Source 2 engine. And once I finally learned it, I'm never ever gonna go back. I mean,
No,
really.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you, I can't imagine because I didn't start mapping until a little later, and we could probably talk about that after. Um, but like, I can't imagine that there were as many of the quality of life tools for Counter Strike making as when it dropped. Because in Source Two was very like Half Life Alyx heavy in terms of its like tool set at first, and like they had to drop dev kits and stuff later, from my memory, but I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the Source Engine's development,
Mm.
but before Source 2 came out, we were using something called Hammer++,
Mm.
which was developed, I think, independently outside of Valve. And it was a really powerful tool that gave you, do you know the viewport mode that gives you all lighting with like all the
Yes.
nice shaders and everything? it put that into source one, which was super
Okay.
impressive. Yeah, and it also I believe kind of added the vertex editor slightly, because before that, I know honestly I don't really remember source one all that well. I mean, I obviously if I booted up Hammer, I would I would jump straight back into
Mm.
it, but I think it was so traumatizing to
Yeah,
me
I was
that
just about to
my
say.
brain is kind of plastered over it, because it was different. It was
Yes.
really, really technical.
Coming from someone, because obviously I'm in a unique position with this project, where like yes, I'm a beginner at Hammer, but I'm not a beginner at 3D space and like creating that kind of stuff. Like that's not new to me. So
Oh
for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
Hammer was extremely user friendly to transition over to from Blender. The only thing that's, and this is like the case for any 3D user, is going between the two intermittently. The keybinds is just, that just happens. Like you mix them up every once in a while, but overall, like Hammer has got to be one of the most user-friendly creation tools I've ever used. Um,
Yeah, I actually
it's
prefer
crazy.
modeling in Hammer. Yeah, I've tried Blender a few times and I just can't get into it,
It's
honestly.
fair enough. Fair enough. Hammer does make it like really easy in a lot of ways. There is a lot of really, and when you learn those keybinds, you feel like a wizard. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Um, all right. So with that said, what is your favorite part of the map making process in Source Two?
Yeah, my favorite part of the map making like progress in general is progress. Map making in general. My favorite part is definitely the gray box stage. Everything
Okay.
after that is increasingly difficult for me.
Mhm.
Um, but my favorite thing is loading into a fresh new project with absolutely nothing and just seeing that blankness,
Mm.
just the grid. The grid is my best friend, and having that blank, empty project lets me be as creative as possible, and I make whatever I want. And 4 or 5 hours later, I have a whole new project,
Mhm.
and then 2 or 3 weeks go by, and I'm bored.
Yeah, I've been running into the same problem. Because yeah, it's pretty much the same thing for me. Like I could bang out a layout in not long if I sketch it at the minute, but when I
Mm.
talked to T1, he had a really interesting he has a really interesting method of making maps that's like completely different to yours, and I'm really looking forward to like diving in more when we analyze my maps. But he's the type to like, if it's based on a real place, he'll look up pictures and he'll just find an architectural quirk of that place and just remake it in Hammer. And to me that sounds like a really scary way to start making a map from scratch. Having watched your videos and taken them very much to heart, but it's it's still super exciting, and I want to try and take little bits of feedback from everyone. Greybox is probably my favorite phase too at the minute. It's just like it's so rewarding to put everything down and like in barely any time, if you're adept, like you can make something that you can at least run around with bots on and like get a feel for, and I really like that feeling.
Yeah, you can definitely get something bot worthy within a couple of hours, to be honest. I mean, you just put the floor down, select all the edges, and extrude them up. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But getting that architectural side right is actually super important. And
Yeah,
T1 has a great point. Reference is your best friend. I mean, as a level designer, you're also kind of putting on that architect hat, and you should be making a space that feels believable, you know?
yeah.
And what a better way to do that than look up floor plans from something in the real world and, yeah,
Mm.
putting it in.
Um, so I guess I could extrapolate that your least favorite part of the map making would be things like viz or detailing, that kind of stuff.
I don't really mind doing Viz,
Okay.
especially in Source 2. It's so much easier. I mean, it's all voxel based, and that is just a huge improvement from like the line of sight that we had
Hmm.
with like area portals and whatnot. That that was a nightmare. I really didn't like Viz back then, but now it's actually pretty easy. Um, I think my least favorite part right now, like the most difficult part, is actually small props detailing. It's
Hmm.
once you have that finished gray box, even if you have all the buildings done and all the proportions are right and everything looks good, now you have to put the tiles on the roof and put the
Yeah.
rocks on the ground, and you have to be. It's a different kind of creativity than what I
Yeah.
have. Like
That's
I can
something
really
that's
visualize a space, but like the wear and tear of it, it gets pretty hard. Yeah.
yeah, that's something that I'm finding very daunting at the minute in this process. but I'm hoping to, like just keep learning. That's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other
Hmm,
people you're interviewing are masterminds of detail. So
okay,
I think,
that's really good. I definitely tried to make sure the pool of conversation here was like varied. With I mean, when I talked to T1, he was like, mappers are yappers, and no one wants to talk about mapping usually. So he was like, it's a given that everyone said yes to the interviews, and I'm really excited. Um,
that's so true. Yeah.
so
We
right
we are
now, oh,
yappers.
go on. Uh, right now you're working on a map called it was different in the link, but it's Oasis on the
Yeah,
in okay.
Oasis. Yeah.
Okay, so you're working on a map Oasis. It's a hostage map for the Lenmo contest, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
set.
hmm,
Yeah, it's set in the Grand Canyon, which is just like Wild,
mhm.
which is a different map made by Maxime, and that's the person who made
Palais,
Palais. Yeah,
amazing map.
and it's set in a mansion that has like a secret cloning laboratory underneath. And the idea
Mhm.
is that the terrorists are two clones that broke free from their laboratory and took their like scientist creators hostage at gunpoint. And the CTs are trying to free the scientists, even though it's like an illegal underground cloning lab. Yeah.
Yeah, that's firstly really cool idea, and I did have a run around on the map, and it is a really interesting layout. The tunnel underneath and like that big round road that's sort of the ring road around it, is super interesting. What do you think the biggest hurdle in that production has been so far, or if there's a big hurdle you anticipate?
You know, the biggest hurdle is actually just that the map is a little too big, and it's actually best suited for 3v3,
Hmm.
which is something that I could have fixed a lot earlier on in the process when I was actually sketching the layout. The biggest issue was I drew the mansion too small. I just
Hmm.
got the scale a little wrong, and now the consequence is that the underground driveway is actually proportional, right? Like the whole thing is proportional, but for level from a level design like gameplay perspective, it's too big,
Okay.
um,
So
which is too bad. Yeah.
how do you think what do you think you're gonna do to remedy that? Are you gonna have to remodel a lot of things, or?
No. Actually, the solution was pretty simple. It's
Oh,
just that I had to I had to rethink the way that the gameplay on the level was going to work.
okay.
So originally, what I had in mind is CTs are going to kind of wind their way up the
Hmm.
long driveway into the level, and they'll have a few different opportunities to get into the fight along the way.
Hmm.
So, for example, there are branching paths coming off of the driveway.
Yes.
Um, Instead, the driveway becomes a big, long fight that you never actually walk all the way through, but you'll participate in fights along it in segments. So you might go along one part of the driveway by taking a vent and then cutting across the driveway and dropping down some stairs, or maybe you'll boost up onto the Ferrari and then jump around the back of the map towards the pool area. So there's a variety of different ways you can play the driveway, but you'll never actually walk all the way up or down it. It's just a larger area that you never actually experience in full, you know?
Right. Okay. Interesting. You can answer this question about Dumbo or this upcoming map Oasis, whatever you think is better. Um, how long did production, or do you think production will take on
Uh,
one of those maps?
so Dumbo is a year old now. She's my
Okay.
baby. Yep, she said her first words and everything.
Hmm.
Um, Oasis, I've only been working on for a month now.
Okay.
Um, but when it comes to like the stages of production that I'm comfortable working with, uh, i.e., not detailing,
Hmm.
uh, it only takes me about a week to
Okay.
finish a gray box. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. That's reassuring because I'm about the same. Like I can usually knock out a gray box in not a lot of time, so that's good. I definitely need to up my skill on diffusal maps, but I can turn a wingman sketch into a map pretty quick. So I'm glad to hear that.
Well,
Um,
diffusal maps aren't
mm,
actually all that much more complicated.
no.
So, oh,
Hello?
One sec. My monitor is just turned off.
That's okay.
That's silly. All right, good. I just have to move my mouse occasionally. Yeah, you were saying?
Uh, yeah, I definitely do. Like, I think it's more of like a mental block than an actual like difficulty block. It's just more. It's just more space. That's literally it.
Really? What do you mean?
Um, like I've like, as you've seen, and we'll talk about, I've approached diffusal maps a couple times, and there's another one that I have to tell you about as well, that was like prior to this video existing. Um, but it's just, I think my approach for Wingman, or for Wingman, how do I phrase it? T1 said in Wingman everything goes pretty much, and he's right. Like, you can get away with a lot in Wingman because of the uniqueness of the format. Like it's an isolated, more compact location. Like Palais is a great example. This is a bonkers map. It's ridiculous. But it works because it's Wingman. Like, as a site, if you somehow manage to fit all of Palais' existing routes into a diffusal map, it might be painful. But in Wingman, it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think just the fact that there are only 2 players that you have to deal with really like dampens all
Yeah,
of the danger. So once you have info on where one player is, you can kind of guess where the second one is,
true.
and you'll never have to worry about option 3, 4, and 5 that
Yeah.
you normally would in a 5v5 if it was a bomb site that complicated.
Mm.
So you do have a great point about that.
I
But
definitely do want to get better. Sorry, go on.
well, I was gonna say, you can actually get away with quite a bit in a 5v5 map too. It's just you're gonna want to spread all of the complication that a map like Palais has across the
Hmm.
entire map instead
Yeah,
of just including it over one bomb site.
definitely.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Just to bring it back then. So yeah, this project didn't actually start in May. Kind of.
Really?
Like the video itself did, but well, that's not even true. The video itself started like 2 weeks ago. I wrote it like 2 weeks ago, and I've just been collecting all of I have a good memory for this stuff, so I remember how I've progressed, kind of, and I have enough footage to make it work. But way back when the Mapcore Big Adventures contest started, T1 made a video about all the grey box maps that qualified. And he made that video and reviewed them, and I thought that was super inspiring. And I was just like, you know what, I really should try Hammer and like just try make a map. And I wanted to make a map. It was called DE Discovery. It was based on, or it was going to be a science museum. A site was like, have you ever seen one of those like walk through the human body exhibits? They do them a lot in the US, where you like,
Oh, that's sweet.
and A site would have been the heart, and the other site, and part of what brought it down is I had no idea what the other site would be. I bounced around the idea with my friends, like solar system or prehistoric or anything, all this kind of stuff. And we just couldn't land on an answer. And on top of that, I was incredibly unskilled with layouts. So like when you think about it, and you think about the entry point of like having the lungs as like this big sort of dome covering the site, and maybe like ribs on one side so you can throw nades out, having the heart as a site visually with all the like information signs for cover, that all works like in concept. But my skill level just wasn't there, so I sort of dropped it. And then the major happened and Spirit won, and I was like, cool, I like Spirit. And then I just fell off CS for a really long time. And then T1 made a video about phase 2 of Mapcore, and I got right back on the wagon. And that was in, I forget if it was phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3, but near the end of Mapcore, he made another video. I watched that one. I was like, God damn it, I'm gonna get back into Hammer again, aren't I? And then that's how Concave got made. I made that at like 3 a.m. with like, I was awake for like 26 hours. Just
Oh, wow.
looking. I had just finished a really
fever dream, huh?
I had just finished a really big project, and I wanted to sort of stray away from Lego for a bit because I wanted to stray away from Lego for a bit because I just the work was very intensive for me. It took 5 months of my life that I could have been making videos. I could have been doing something. So I just needed something else, and that video came out, and I was like, I could absolutely try and make a CS map. So I watched all the Eagle One videos. I watched both of your videos that I could find. I watched a bunch of T1. Like I tried to just soak in as much information as I could, and then I drew Concave. Which when we get to the maps, I'll show you the original layout, and you can compare it. But
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
yeah, it's been an interesting journey already, and I mean, like, I don't think I've spent more than a month on one map yet, so it's good to hear your production timeline.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I will draw a map in 30 minutes, and then I put it in Hammer, and I'd say probably 4 or 5 days later, I have the whole thing, and it's just, done. Um,
Good. Okay.
and the problem for me really is what do you do after that? Because I'm not gonna stick around with the idea forever, and I can't just pass it off to someone else.
Mhm.
So I definitely understand where you're coming from with this, but it sounds to me like you're actually gonna finish a map, right? Like you have
I
this idea and you're
I
gonna put it all together.
I well, kind of. My right now the script says something along the lines of like, I don't even know what the final map is yet. But I know that whatever I make, I just want to make a fun, finished, or even mostly finished 5v5 map. That's the goal.
Yeah. So the scope is to finish it then,
Yeah.
or is it to like? Are you gonna have like a? I like my favorite spot is a colored in, slightly textured gray box. So you've
Mm-hmm.
got plants and you have like hints of small props
Yes.
and all that is done, but you don't necessarily have particle systems or sounds or you know there's a lot more depth. You can always there's no such thing as really finishing a project, right? So the question is
Yeah.
like at what stage are you going to end up calling it
Uh,
quits and saying this is good enough?
Ideally, it would be the point where the only edits that get made are little patch notes or bug fixes or just little things that I think are appropriate. That would be nice.
Sweet. Yeah.
But that's a long-term goal. Right now, it is just like even a semi-finished, like colored gray box of a 5v5 would be really cool. And if I get to that point, you believe me, I'll be in Map Inc. and I'll be trying to get playtests with it because.
Well, I'll be playtesting your map, so
Okay,
just you
good.
wait. I'll be getting Zeus kills and M249 kills and everything.
Oh, excellent. And don't yeah, exactly. I was just about to say don't neglect the M249, but you took the words out of my mouth.
This is the best weapon in the game,
It is, yeah. The most balanced. It always like on Dust 2, it's
So many
perfect.
bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you never have to reload.
Okay, so my next question here is more about community content, and T1 had a really like fair answer to this, which is like any new mapper, it's not really fair to judge them on some of these metrics. I don't know if you're the same, but what's a map making trope or a pitfall that you see a lot or that you see rarely but you still really dislike?
Oh my god. There's a couple for me. The biggest one is I hate when I'm playing a map and there are orange textures all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's so outdated. Please just use the gray ones. Like it's blinding, and I wish I could like take the orange setting on my monitor and just like hone in on that one color and just remove it completely. Um, I'm not saying I hate the color orange, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I kind of hate the color orange, to be honest. No, I'm joking. The second one is when people are making a map and the whole thing is one mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just took the sides of like the level, right? The
Yeah, and
edges of
just
the playable space and just raise it up.
right.
Um, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. And the second I see that, I am just it's like screaming in my head that like because the problem is once you do that, psychologically you think that you're like more progressed than you actually are.
Yeah, when
Um,
realistically it's gonna hurt more when you have to rip out all of those roots anyway.
exactly. Yeah. And I'm not saying that there isn't a place for doing that, like in the earliest of gray box stages, like for your first playtest. I don't. but other people do just to test the layout out.
Mhm.
Um, I think that if you draw the layout properly and you think about it enough before you actually start putting it into Hammer, you never ever have to test the map like that, because like in your latest drawings, you put down hay bales and cover, and you think about where the tractor is and everything for for hay fever or wheeze. So
Mm.
once you visualize everything in your head, you really don't have to like play test it until you have that visualization realized completely.
Mhm.
Like just keep on pushing until you have something that's presentable, and then play test. In my opinion, you know,
Okay.
like take the whole week. Really finish it, get it to be right by your mind. Otherwise, people will give you different ideas and whatnot. And if you're looking for inspiration, by all means, go ahead and play test before you've reached that like vision that you had in your head. But honestly, in my experience, like you don't you don't really need as many playtests as you think you do. Um,
No.
yeah.
Um, and I guess I'll hone in as well, just because I feel like I might get a funny answer. Because you have you do have very unique maps in terms of layout. What is like a specifically a layout problem or trope that you really don't like?
Oh yeah. Maps that are wider than they are tall. So if the
Okay.
space between the bomb sites is further apart than the space between CT and T spawn from like a bird's eye perspective.
Okay.
You can just fly
That's a
above your
really good
map,
one.
check that out. If your map is like that, unless you're a genius and you figured out how to fix the problem that no other first maps have ever solved, your proportions are off, and you should just add some more paths, stretch out your mids, and get it so that CTs will have an easier time rotating between the bomb sites than Ts do.
Oh,
Because otherwise, you're going to run into that problem
that's a
like
very good
90% of the time.
answer. It's a very good answer. Um, okay. Wait, what am I? Am I having a brain lapse? No, we're good. Okay, we're good. Uh, so for people wanting to get into Hammer, and CS2 map making, what is like a crucial piece of advice you might give to them? And if it's like mindset or specifically Hammer or workflow, like anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for me, the hardest part was always learning the actual engine. Like literally just learning mesh manipulation, learning how to build geometry.
Hmm.
That's like the bread and butter of any Counter-Strike map is
Yeah.
literally just modeling out your map. And if you spend if you spend a long time like if you spend a long time cooking on an idea, uh, you can get really attached to it, and then you'll get frustrated with yourself because you're not able to actually make it in the engine.
Mm.
Um, because it's a complicated idea. Like a lot of people's first maps are set in Japan, and Japan is known for complex architecture. It's
Yeah.
not easy to make a Japan map. On the other hand, my first map was set in a parking garage, and
Hmm.
it's really easy to make a parking garage. So,
True.
uh, I'm not saying that you shouldn't like shoot for the moon. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you should
Or the
manage your
stars, but
scope.
and more than that, you should, if you know that your project is going to be complicated, spend some time just like learning how to make a table or a chair
Yeah.
or like a lighting fixture. Like learn how to learn how to use all of the tools that you have. Um, is kind of the big picture, because otherwise you're going to end up being really unskilled when you're making one area, like say your B bomb site,
Mm.
and then a week later you're making your A bomb site, and like you've gotten better at actually making the map, and then you have to go back to the B bomb site and redo it, and then you have to go back to the A bomb site and redo it. So
Yeah.
I'd say like if you know that you want to make a Counter Strike map, boot up Hammer,
Hmm.
download everything, watch all the tutorials, front load it, take some notes. Like those that Academy by Eagle One is so good.
It's
Just take
insane.
notes. Yeah.
I will say I got a
Literally
little
take out a
confused.
notebook, write stuff down.
I got a little
Yeah.
confused at Eagle One at first because the CS thumbnails are obviously different, but I didn't clock that when I was watching the like Hammer Essentials, and that is very much more geared towards Half-Life Alyx. And I was like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean volumetric fog? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
But
Cube map
then
fog, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
cube map fog, but figured it out in the end. And yeah, like shout out to Chimonahihi, by the way, like such good
Oh yeah.
videos.
those are the best videos. They're really, really, really good. Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good. Thank you. That's a really good answer, and that's like it's really good feedback for anyone wanting to start. Because one thing for me, and the part of the reason that I wanted to make this is like there isn't a lot of resources for this stuff. Like the the Counter-Strike like official modding tools, even for skins, is very like gaunt in terms of like actual coaching to help you do that, which to me is beyond me because like at the end of the day, new content is one of the things that is going to keep bringing people to this game, and I don't know why Valve or Counter Strike doesn't want or isn't prioritizing like bringing that as much as maybe they should. Um,
Yeah, that's actually a good point, isn't it? Um, I think that it's in Valve's best interest to like fix the actual game. You know, Counter-Strike 2 already has
yeah,
so many
true.
issues. And
They
I
definitely
think
should fix
I
it.
think the thing is if you're a map maker, you're going to be good with computers.
Mm.
Like I promise you, if you have Hammer on your computer, you're better than 90% of people with computers. A lot of the people that make maps also know how to code, or they
Okay.
know how to make music using like Ableton or
Mm.
whatever they use.
I'm
You
an
know, they
FL
know
Studio
Photoshop.
user. I know Photoshop. Like, yeah, I do have a
Yeah,
lot of those skills under my belt already.
yeah, and I bet a bunch of your viewers do too. So, like, it's something that translates over where like we're problem solvers, you know,
Mm.
and if everything is kind of solved for us, where's the fun? You know, I like having a mysterious bug that Valve could have patched and sort of hinted at the solution to, but never actually explicitly told you how to fix it. And so you have to go back to like 2008 gold source tutorials and figure out how to solve it. It's my
it's,
favorite.
it's magic.
Yeah,
But
there's like slight sarcasm there, but also true. It is kind of fun. It's a little puzzle, you know.
I guess what I'm boiling down to is like why I'm so pleased with your feedback so far as well is like despite the fact that you've already made videos, like you are some of that resource, and I know that you're planning on more, and I can bleep that if that's not announced yet. Then like these interviews, which I'll probably put as like full unlisted videos under the video, as well as like snippets of them in the video,
Mhm.
that can be a huge resource for people because like people like Jim and Angel are incredibly skilled. And
Oh
if
yeah.
you're in the right places, they can help you. But I think it's very important that people have an easier time finding those places. So
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find those places, just hop on Discord and
yeah,
come chill with us on like Map Inc. or MapCore. Uh, I mean, Eagle One Discord. You know, if you
yes,
if you have any questions about those videos, just ask away. Yeah, we're all
very
really
good.
friendly. Yeah.
Before I go on and we talk about my maps, because that will probably take the longest part of this interview. It did with T1, so uh, I just wanted to ask what your opinion is on the outcome of the Mapcore contest this year.
Uh, that contest was. I mean, I think I have a two-faced answer here.
Okay,
Uh, the actual maps that got produced by that contest are
amazing,
phenomenal.
amazing.
And the sheer amount of talent and skill that went into actually making all of those maps is absolutely unbelievable to me. I
Hmm.
mean, we have maps like Contact that got dropped that
Yeah,
are just out of this world. I
Contact
mean,
is ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, I remember when I was playing the gray box. No offense to Gino and all of them that made the map, but I was a little dismayed at first because I thought the layout was strange. And when they finally detailed it, I saw the vision and it completely changed my mind.
Hmm.
Um, on the other hand, we had maps like Golden that
Oh my,
were, flying stars right from the beginning, just completely absurdly good.
Golden
And
is
the
like a
finished product,
masterpiece.
yeah, I can't believe that map didn't win.
Yeah, me too.
And for me, the map that I wanted to win was actually Palacio, um,
Hmm.
because it's like a real life
I've been there.
castle in Portugal. I've never been there, but uh, I mean the architecture is just so good. and that says a lot to me about like the gameplay is a little unintuitive,
Mm,
but mid control on that map is super interesting to play as a CT as well because you can't hold B, like you just can't unless you
okay.
take mid,
Okay.
which is
That
super
is really
fun. And
cool.
it's the thing about that map is because it's literally just a copy of the castle in real life.
Mhm.
Like the properties of all that gameplay actually come from the architecture of the map. It's not that the gameplay was designed right. It's
Mhm.
that the architecture was designed. And so as the player, you have to figure out how to abuse the actual architecture the best possible way in order to defeat your enemy.
Mm.
And that is not something that often happens in a Counter-Strike level, is that the level is kind of set in stone, and like for the first time it's like really up to the players to figure out how to play the level. It's the opposite of what we normally do, which is to
Mhm.
design the gameplay. Um, and I think that that is so unique and interesting that it deserved much more merit than it actually got. That map changes a lot of things. It's a good map.
I agree. I
But
also think the painting is like really good for zoning as a player. Like all of the wall
yeah,
colors just really help with you like grounding yourself in the space.
I mean the wow factor on that map is just unbelievable. Like I can keep talking about Palacio for a long time. I really like that map. Um, and I think lastly is I have heard really bad things about the judging on that contest. For example, one of the judges gave Flick, which is one of the finalists, like a
Hmm.
25 or something percent on all factors, which is
Wow.
kind of absurd. And I I believe that it had to do with some sort of a personal vendetta. Not to say anything bad against that
No.
judge, who I'm not going to name.
No.
Um, but I also had an experience where like I had a great map. Dumbo was actually a map for that contest,
Hmm.
and people were saying that it was S tier at the beginning. Like they literally had it ranked number like top 10 out
Hmm.
of all 100 something plus submissions. And I put a lot of work into that map. And then there were other less developed maps that made it through the contest. And when I talked to the organizers about it, their best guess as to why the map didn't get through was because of the name, because the name is Dumbo, and that sounds like the word dumb, and they thought it was some sort of like
Isn't it like an
dumb
area of
reference.
New? It's an
Yeah,
area.
it's a neighborhood. It is.
Yeah.
It's like perhaps the richest, most expensive up and coming neighborhood in Brooklyn,
Okay.
which is
Right.
like I don't understand. Imagine like you made a map called Soho, right, about London, and
Yeah.
then people were like, Soho sounds like a curse word,
It
so I'm
sounds like
not
you're
gonna.
saying ho, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, so exactly.
Interesting. That's
So
strange.
I'm gonna be totally honest. Like my best guess is like similarly. I just think it was kind of like, I don't know, maybe one of the judges didn't like me, and
From what I've
that
heard,
feels really bad,
from what I've heard,
Yeah,
there was generally a lack of consensus, which led to the whatever the two finalists
yeah.
were. And like I'm in a very interesting position on this because from Greybox, and I will say this as candidly as possible, I was such a huge Grail dick rider. Like I really liked the idea. I thought it was a really fun idea, and I thought like even if I kept saying to myself, it surely will not win, but in my heart it won because it was. I think the map is brave for doing something so left field in such a mainstream context. And then it won. And then it was in the game. And I've played it in the game. And playing it is different than going around the grey box. It's different than looking at a sketch. When you play it, it's a completely different context. And I do not like
Well,
playing Grail.
really, that's surprising.
No.
Because for me, I had I have actually the opposite perspective on Grail.
Huh.
I dislike the concept. I dislike the artwork. And no offense to the map makers, they're all really good. Um, and I've seen other maps by them, and I really liked it. I just think that it's maybe best fit for a game like Overwatch.
Well,
But
yeah.
but but I actually don't hate the gameplay. after playing it a few times, I think that it's totally out there and just fun. The one thing that I still don't like about the map is I still kind of feel like you can abuse the A-bomb site by
Mm,
pushing through the squeaky door, and unless the CT holding it is a hell of a lot better than you at the game, you're just gonna win the A site
yeah.
over and over again. And then once you notice that the other team starts stacking the A site, then you just switch it up and you go B. And maybe that has like a place, that kind of a bomb site has a place in the game.
Mm.
Valve certainly thinks so. Um, but also I think Valve sees what I see in the map, which is that
Yeah.
like just for playing like deathmatch and casual,
Oh, it is really fun
and
on deathmatch, I will
it is
say.
so fun, and the fights are great, um, especially on deathmatch. Yeah, and when I say like especially, I mean it's like memorably good,
Yes.
and that's fun. Like I hate
Like,
playing Dust 2 on deathmatch. I just hate it.
yeah, it's torture. Um,
Yeah.
I think honestly maybe it's just because I played the Grey Box and I remember the original sightlines and the original paths, and I'm sure like timing wise it is the right decision. I just really don't like that they removed uh on the long like B push through
Mhm.
to main. There used to be a path that went down into the river and that could go up to the bridge on mid, and that like it was like a proper like plus shape mid.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I liked the idea that you could go through the entire river. I thought that was really fun. And then in the final version, you go through the gift shop instead. But there's still the pit, which
Yeah, the pit is still there. Yeah.
and it feels like the first time
A
you go
question mark,
into
right?
it, yeah, it feels like you go and you're like, I feel like I should have somewhere to go here, but no, there's nowhere really to go. It's just like an odd dead end for me. But
Yeah.
still overall like it is, I'm happy it's in the game as someone who was really ride or die for it, and it is fun in deathmatch. I just don't queue it.
Well, I don't. I think everyone queued it for the first like month after
Yeah.
it got in the game. You know, um, I think that on the other hand, there are a couple other maps that could have won the contest that might have been better, but
I think that
that
they'll
was up to
still
the
show
judges.
up too.
So
I think because realistically, what we're
yeah,
not getting another community map in the game for like 3 more months at least.
at
Um,
least.
and I reckon because I was talking to T1 about this exact topic, and he said when Anubis won the contest way back when, and like that was first place, and whatever came in sixth also went into the game, and that's exactly what happened here. It was like fifth or sixth with Yura, and Yura's cool
You're right. Yeah.
too. Yura is a big map though. I get very turned around in Yura, but I do think it's like the art pass on that is just astounding. But T1 and me basically came to the consensus like, yeah, by that logic, Golden and maybe like Warden will probably be in the game soon. So
Yeah.
it's bright future
I'm
ahead, but
yeah. I'm sure that those two maps will get in the game too. Yeah. Um, I have qualms with honestly. I have qualms with all of the maps. They're except Alpine. I like Alpine, but there are some holes in the geometry. Make sure you tell 20 about that. No, I'm joking.
okay.
Um, but it's a contest. Everyone had a year to make these maps,
Yeah.
and when it comes to like a fully finished and detailed map, I would even say that 2 years is maybe not even enough to really make something that's good. You
Hmm.
know, there's a reason why FM Pwn took so long finishing Cache.
Yeah.
Um, it is just a big process of detailing a Counter-Strike map.
Yeah.
Unlike any other game, Counter-Strike uh, goes for full-on realism, and well, not unlike any other game, but unlike any other community mapping-based game,
Yeah.
it goes for full-on realism. And you can always like do Roblox mapping if you want something that's a little more fairy tale.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just a big process actually finishing and detailing a map.
Okay.
There's a lot
Yeah.
that goes into it.
I think that's why I initially and insanely I'm glad I managed this before I even arranged these interviews. My original plan was for this to be like one big video, but that is ridiculous and will not happen. So this is like a series, and the interviews end this video, this first video. Um, and give it some kind of cyclical nature, because in my script very early I talk about how I don't want to gatekeep my resources that I had when I started this. So like I mention you, I mention T1, I mention Sammy, and I mention Jim and Angel. So presentation wise, it's going to be very cool to come around to this part of the video. And I think it will be a better way to end it rather than it just be like chapter 2 in a 2-year long project. And like making it a series just makes more sense because people will be hopefully hanging on the edge of their seat, like waiting for the next one. I'm
sure
very excited about that. Okay, I know that was a bit of a diversion from the planned questions, but I've just heard such a like wide array of opinions specifically about Grail, and I wanted to see what
You wanted to hear
stood on it.
Yeah. Well, I can summarize. Grail is a very fun to play map that doesn't quite fit into the Counter-Strike universe
No,
and
I
has
would agree.
a totally unconventional layout. So that's what I'd say about it.
Okay, that's a great answer. Okay, so now we get to my 3 maps, which this whole video is about. Could I get your opinion on them?
Yeah, let's do it. So, do you want to lead the way, or
you can screen share if you'd like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to boot up? Do you want me to boot up the maps and fly around?
Yeah, that'd be great. That's exactly what T1 did, so that'd be cool.
All right, sweet. Let me just get my game booted, and then I'll share my stream.
While you do that, I will send you the original 3 a.m. no sleep version of Concave so you can sort of see it in comparison, and I'll sort of give you the story of what happens in between your notes.
So I saw you worked on the map for quite some time, right? That's your sketch?
That is my sketch, yes. When did I upload it?
Wow, what a great sketch.
Thank you.
You made that in Photoshop?
Yes.
Yeah. I can see all those lovely Bezier curves.
Yeah, I just used like shapes, and then I would just copy paste them within the same shape, so they would merge the stroke together.
I love the way you did that outline around everything. That's sweet.
And I just took it took me so long to figure out the actual scale because I used Ancient's grid because it's like the only map image I could find with the grid in it. But it turns out Ancient's like really big. And that was, or at least to me when I began, like we'll get back around to this, but when I said like with the second map I wanted to focus less on using vertex snapping, I did not know that there was a grid scale in Hammer 2 when I made Concave. I was only using vertex snapping with like the 2 grid or the 2 units measurements. So I was moving everything like with these minute measurements and then just vertex snapping them. So yeah, it was kind of a mess.
So this is Concave.
Yes.
Here we go. We're going to do a competitive game here.
Concave, I made the first gray box for it on it took me like 2 or 3 days. I think I'd say maybe like I started working on it like the 20th of April. No, the 25th of April. And then I put it on the workshop on the 2nd of May. And then I worked on it again for like 2 more weeks and then moved on.
There we go. All right, sweet. Yeah, so starting off with the obvious, I think that the map definitely has some jank.
It definitely does.
Going on. But I'm gonna go ahead and look past that. So, and in fact, I'll start out just by saying that it's clear that you are still learning the editor here, but we can already see some hints of what the future holds, with some very nice examples of just pretty composition, nicer details, and also if you just look at the layout, ignoring all of the boxes, overlap, and strangeness, the proportions are good, and I think that if you had, for example, maybe 500 hours of map making experience, you could have pulled something this complex off right away. There's nothing that's like horribly wrong with, and the detailing's cool too. Like neat, but I think this is
Those are just
I
like,
don't know where this is from.
I don't know what
Where is
map
this
it's from either. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
It could,
Yeah.
I think it's one of the like back rooms in Nuke or something.
Yeah, that's actually something that this map doesn't have. It doesn't feel like the back rooms. It feels like a one of those really like cringy CS:GO maps for aim. You know,
Okay.
like a 1v1 op, not
Yeah,
Lego,
of course.
obviously, but you know, it feels like a first map. Like
One
stuff like this,
thing,
for example,
yeah,
is a
a
little
bit
like
scuffed.
yeah.
But one thing I wanted to focus on with this one, because the way the map really came together for me was, as I said, if you look at the sketch there, there's no real hint of theming. I'm definitely just putting shapes down.
Right.
And when I realized I wanted to do something with like A side at the center and B side and the spawns on the outer reaches, I was like, a lot of stairs. I don't know how to make stairs in Hammer yet, so there's a lot of ramps. But the stairs in the sketch made me and all my friends think of Coco, and that made us think, okay, let's set the map in Mexico. And it's during Cinco de Mayo, and everyone's had to evacuate this town. And as I was doing that, just like, okay, I started with A site. A site was kind of simple layout, like a little market. I think every single person that looks at this map is going to make that jump. And it's so funny to me because it was not intentional.
Yeah, I can tell. It's not on the radar.
I do forget. I do have a version with clipping brushes there, but I guess I didn't deem it important enough to update it yet. But I was really struggling with B site, and then I found that statue. I think it's from Inferno. The big statues.
The Marys, yeah.
I put them down in that sort of formation, and from there, the goal of the map, when wherever you are, like any important place, you always get a good view of that. So if you go to T spawn and you push B, like over there, if you walk that way, when you come around the path, you see her, and I think that's really cool. And it draws your eye directly towards it. Similar things happen if you're on A site, you can see the statues. If you're at CT spawn as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure
We
that
call that we have a
Yeah.
funny name for that. So weenie.
Weenie.
A weenie. Yeah. You can see
Okay.
it from everywhere.
Interesting.
It's from theme parks. Theme park design. They have weenies that poke out.
Right.
Like for example, the Disney Castle and Disneyland and Disney
Of
World.
course. Okay. But yeah, I guess my natural inclination was to try and make sure that it fed into that as much as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
I think that I've spent enough time on this map. It's a definitely like a project that I can tell you put a lot of love into, but you might, if you wanted to save the radar, the radar and the layout, right? You'd probably have to restart.
Yeah.
Because
and I would do that.
jank.
I would willingly do that because I actually really do like this layout, and I do think there's a lot of like interesting. It's just an interesting map. Like, I love that little path across the stage. Yeah. That's like my favorite part of the map. Is the path across the stage through the security office. That was like a late addition because I put the map on the workshop with that original layout, and a guy called Complex gave me some feedback in the replies and was like, there's just not a lot, like you just need to add some more little paths because right now it's a little painful. So I hit the drawing board and I was struggling. I was like, where do I put these paths? What's going on? And I talked to my partner and they were like, you need to think about this place contextually now because you have the layout, but you need to give every building you put down a purpose, at least a little bit. So like the security office, as I mentioned with that window there, across from it is a little green building or like a greenish building. If you go down that path, that's supposed to be a smoke shop. So the joke is having the security office directly across from the smoke shop. Just little things like that was where my head was at. And in my sketch, I'll send you the second sketches I did, which definitely
oh my god,
have a lot more intention.
Let me just show this off so that everyone can see this. That is so detailed. Hello. Well, I can definitely see the vision that you've got going on in the sketch.
Okay.
Yeah. I there might be a few too many secret tunnels. This is starting to look like a Warzone map. But cut all of that out except this one, and I think I think you've got
Yeah,
something. The CT side, a lot of this back here, right?
it's kind of
I
redundant.
don't yeah, I don't quite get why all of it exists. Like, if this was what I like is this back area for retakes, and so I
Hmm.
understand, but I would only understand all of this. The only justification is
Right.
if this was the bomb site, and this shouldn't be the bomb site.
Okay.
The other thing is, I'm assuming that this is going to be where your CT spawn is here in the shade, right? With
CT
directed
spawn
LOSA,
is
this
in
back
that
room,
bit. Yeah.
that back room. Okay, and then the T spawn is here, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
I would be worried. I would be worried about the T's potentially being able to run. That's the point of this path, is so you get that line of
Yeah.
sight, right? Okay,
It's like a
yeah,
line of
because
sight
then
or
you can
a
sniper.
little sneak path. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say you could definitely get pretty far advanced towards B, especially crossing here.
Hmm.
Be hard to hold. Um, and then all of this is just to hold
Yeah.
this outer. So, okay, I guess it makes sense. Is you don't actually have a direct path A, except the outer here.
Hmm.
I think I think it would work. It
Okay.
reminds me, the layout reminds me a lot of a map called Canals, which you might have seen.
That's crazy. T1 said the exact same thing.
Well, I would expect them to. Is very smart.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Okay, that's interesting. What is your opinion on canals?
Is it in game? No, it's not. Um, I think that Canals is. Well, T1 has more to say about Canals, but I think
Hmm.
that. Well, first of all, I've been to Venice, and
Okay.
like the level of detail in Canals, especially for a CS:GO map, is incredible. Um, I think it never had a place in the game. I
Hmm.
think that there are infinitely better places to do a wingman map, not a wingman map, but like a competitive map in Venice, because Venice is like the perfect setting. But the Doge's Palace, which is where Canals is set,
Yeah.
makes no sense to me. There, like it should totally be in the background, right? Like
Hmm.
across the canal, but like Venetian architecture is so nice. Um, just standard buildings are incredible. All of them are super detailed with like
Mm.
marble and all sorts of lovely trim with brick. And then using the Doge's Palace just makes no sense because it's like such an overly complicated building, and it's got tons of weird nooks. And I think that especially like the main plaza, I
Hmm.
forget what it's called, um, is uh, is kind of wide and open, and really for no reason. It just doesn't have great gameplay for Counter Strike.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
yeah.
But
Um,
okay.
on the yeah, I mean, on the other hand, like I think it plays surprisingly well,
Hmm.
all things considered. But if anything, I think that it actually uh, kind of shuts down the entire idea of having like a super realistic map, and
Mm.
made it seem like using real life locations would always be a bad idea. Um, which is actually why I like Palacio so much,
Mm.
because it
This
is
is
the opposite of that.
a lot of inspiration I drew for this map is from a specific town called. Oh, damn. It's got a really funny name, but there's a Mexican city that has that yellow building at T Spawn is pretty much based on a real place, like a real building, with a little bit of creative liberty on that balcony. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
It's in my Pinterest board, and that it was after like making this version of the map and like considering going and doing another art pass. I was just like, I am not skilled enough at hammer architecture to do this confidently. Ooh, that's an evil angle.
I love that you just like left this open. Like look at that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a really like it was supposed to
That's
be quite challenging, but maybe a little too challenging.
yeah. Auto map confirmed. No,
Well, that's good.
I think this is like a great first project, but I want you to recognize that like there's a difference between the beautiful map that is on paper,
Hmm.
um, and the map that was produced here,
Hmm.
which and I don't want to throw shade or anything,
No, no,
but
no. I'm
this is
absolutely down for critique. Like,
I would probably say that this is pretty unsalvageable. But I
yeah,
encourage you to restart. I encourage you to restart your project and like make it properly with
yeah.
good geometry,
I think the
not
idea is
not on the
salvageable. The
vertex
map
grids.
itself is
Yeah,
not.
no, but the idea is definitely salvageable.
Okay,
Just like your hard idea, that gives me that's getting my inspiration flowing. Like I don't work
okay.
on a project like that. Yeah, so I think the idea is definitely there. I want to move
And
on
I
to your
would,
next map.
okay, rightfully so. Also, I would love to work on a map with you one day. That'd be awesome. But real quick before we move on, just so you have a comparison, these are the images I took inspiration from for that building.
Sweet, I'll check it out. What do we got? Oh yeah, that is beautiful.
But
What
I
a lovely church.
so gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
And that is in. I still can't find it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be terribly hard to model out either.
Nice. All right, yeah, I agree. Let's move on to DE_ecstasy. So this map, I was like, okay, you got to do something you at least slightly know more. So I went for just like a block of London. And obviously London has some pretty astounding architecture that would, in the long run, be very challenging. But I thought that it would be a little bit more approachable. So as you can see, T's spawn in the tube station. Specifically, it's I made it like a whole joke texture for this called the AWP shot tube station. Like made up a fake part of London. And once you've had a look around, I can show you the original layout and the final layout.
Yeah, I've checked out the map. Yeah.
Okay. The original sketch and the final are actually quite similar, with only some little changes I made.
Okay. Let's see it. That's very similar.
Mm.
It's very, very similar. I think the slight problem that I have is that aside for a few areas, the sketch still kind of feels more playable.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
there are notable exceptions here. So
Okay.
let me take a look at this with you. In fact, let me just download. Oh, it's a WebP.
What?
Why? Oh, why?
It's not even a WebP
I
on
have
my
to.
computer.
No, it's because
Oh.
Discord automatically changes everything to WebP now because, of course. So let me just open up paint.net and paste it in. Do what I do best. Yeah, so here's layout. So let's just talk. So this is immediately, by the way, I could glaze this for a little bit in
Okay.
Hammer, but I think that this is a huge improvement from what you
Okay.
first said. So let me draw in red your main like attack lanes here. So obviously we've got the middle lane,
Yeah.
which has 3 entrances, but ultimately 1 exit. So 1 mid lane. Then we've got your main A lane, and then you have a side split lane that goes twice towards A. So right away, you can see how much this map is pointing towards the A bomb site.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the B bomb site is set up around a square, which is immediately going to make it very difficult once T's, for example, throw 2 smokes to hold alone. So now we've gotten from mid, which has really easy rotation options off of A should A fail. Like let's say there are 4 CTs in here and you just know that B will be empty. Now you're going to pivot. And the thing that I like too is once again, you've got a bigger fight room outside of B site. So if either of these get taken, but the best part is actually how long the rotate is out to here. Because as a T, you can get caught by a CT who's playing back here,
right,
phase the smoke, they can see you. So the problems now getting to this is everything is too hyper connected.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just do some slight simplifications. Um, this is just what I would do.
Okay.
Um,
I'm excited.
first,
Okay.
yeah. First of all, I'm just going to completely get rid of this path here.
Yep. Okay.
Uh, so the next is I'm going to also get rid of this here. So it'll just be an outer lane,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's disconnected. And then I'm going to, this is where things get a little interesting here.
Mm.
Yeah, this needs to be redesigned here. But I'm going to remove these entrances here and I'm going to widen this one
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to cut it off from here. And I know this is like very much against your idea. And that's the thing is I
That's
think what you
okay.
did in Hammer, this is just what I would do. And then I would widen that out quite a bit. I like what you have in Hammer with like the stairs looping over and under. I think that's cool. As for the CT spawn, the
Yeah.
CT is, yeah, the CTs should spawn here.
Here. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they should be in a wider room that's much better connected to both bomb sites. This is too far away. And
Okay.
then what that allows you to do is let this route go through all of this space where there used to be stuff and connect into CT behind the site.
Mm-hmm.
And then this bomb site should be pushed further back over here.
Mm-hmm.
That way there's less of a timing for T's. And then the entrances can look more like what you have over here, where you have like a lane outside of the site that you're trying to push into, for example.
Yeah.
And I think that would actually help with mid too.
I think A
So
is
there's a variety
definitely
of changes that I would make. But
stronger in the sketch and in Hammer. I think in Hammer the A was definitely more interesting to play. And the little alterations like changing the stair shape, I was really happy with on A site. Instead of just having like the straight stairs through the middle, because like I've been to the odd nightclub, and that is more in line with like what UK nightclubs are sort of shaped like.
no, this is definitely a nightclub. Can we? I just want to talk to you a little bit about
Mhm.
how much better it is in Hammer than it is on the sketch in some
Oh
areas.
really? Okay.
Yeah, this is way better.
Okay.
The sketch that you have doesn't leave any room for fun.
Huh?
What the?
That was
Thank you.
weird.
Yeah. Did I like shoot through the panels?
Magic.
That's crazy. Yeah. But what you have here, I think, is just a lot more like imaginative. My issue is you can't like walk down this.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like more smaller issues. And then you see how like you took like you already did what I said my work here and no, actually this is what was here. Yeah, this is what was here in the sketch too, right? And then all of this
Kind of.
too.
Yeah.
Mostly the same, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the
Some
alleys
slight
here are
angle
cool.
changes.
Yeah. My real question is like, is this better for 10v10 or is this better for 5v5? And I think in 10v10, this map is going to be really fun. There's enough space. And then the other thing that I notice is, wait,
Oh bugger! I did not think of that.
like
And
this is cool, you
yeah,
know?
that path
This
is
is what you intended.
intentional. Yeah, originally it was fully blocked off, and like it was supposed to be like a little jokey "fuck you," because obviously that straight path would be kind of unfair. But then I was talking to my friends, they were like, "You can at least make someone jump for it." I was like, "That's a good point. Like you have to crouch and take your time." So
No, I think it's cool. I think this could be more streamlined. You know, boost on vertigo. It reminds me more like that. I think an actual player boost here, like instead of a single jump, will also be better.
that would actually be pretty OP. That'd
Like
be
you should
fun.
have to boost someone over, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, I think that still the CT spawn is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, but this is cool. So there's like pieces that shine through. My favorite part has got to be this bomb site.
Yeah.
I mean, check this out. This is cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish that this wasn't playable somehow. I know you
then,
probably
yeah.
thought about it too.
I went through
And
like
this,
I actually did a whole redraft of this bomb site with like entirely different. Like I redid the stairs, I redid everything, and I just never got around to updating it, and that's kind of where I dropped the.
yeah, I mean,
one and moved on.
Yeah, I don't hate this. It's just like, what's the purpose of all the space here? I almost wish that there was something going on under, but then that doesn't make any sense. So I just think that while there's a place for this, it might not work the best for Counter-Strike, even if it's beautiful. You know? And then the other thing that I wanted you to have a look at is just how difficult it'll be to this is clipped, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
How difficult it'll be to take this site. Um, there's just
there is a
like a
lot of
lot of
right angles.
yeah, and this spot in particular is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, with some practice, I'm sure you could take
Mm.
it, but and entering the site into stuff like this is
Yeah, like there's no real like entry nade opportunities. There's only defense nades. Yeah, I see what you mean.
yeah. But I need to sneeze. But okay,
Bless you.
much better. But I think that this map is infinitely more promising than the first one. And in fact,
Okay.
I would totally playtest this map.
Okay.
This looks fun. I think you would need to change a few things. I
Mhm.
think that everything still feels a little like compacted, but
Yeah, scale and
I'm seeing what
space
you're going for here.
is one
You know?
big thing. When I
Yeah.
talked to T1, his biggest critique of mine was that I really struggled to make areas. Like right now, I'm very much in the spaghetti mapping mindset, and I totally agree with him. Making areas is definitely going to be something that I struggle with. And when you're finished looking
Like
at Hay
this,
Fever,
yeah.
I can show you how it's looking right now because I'm not going to update it on the workshop until I've interviewed everybody. But
Good.
I have been
All right.
making edits, and I'll probably be making edits after your feedback as well. But I thought I'd show you how it's coming when you're done with your feedback. But yeah.
So before I continue, I want to change your mind a little bit about that. You
Uh-huh.
do have areas in this map.
Yeah.
For example, this here is one distinct kind of area,
Mhm.
like the tube station and all of its exits into mid, that are going to make it very hard for CTs to push up. Not that they would want to, because the B site is the way it is. You want to play back there.
Mhm.
Um, another distinct area is going to be this whole chunk here, where you have the upper and the under. I don't think that it's designed the best way. Like this is
Mhm.
kind of crazy, but then another area that I just found that kind of feels like an area is this feels like a I think it does what you want it to. I mean, I might have
Okay.
designed it differently, but I think
Yeah.
this works.
Okay.
So I do still like understand the areas where we start getting into spaghetti
Yeah, it's right there.
is yeah. This is where it starts breaking down a little bit. I almost feel like still CTs should be spawning in here and the map could be a lot simpler, but
I think so too. I
other
think
than
that's
that,
probably a good idea.
it's fine. And also like the back of B here, um and in fact, I think the whole B site uh could be I almost feel like the site should be running this way and just
Mm,
rotated 90 degrees because you already have the uppers over here and the rotation, like the CTs want to be controlling the back of site,
right.
right? But this is going to make the rotation out a lot longer.
True.
Whereas if they were just rotating from here down to A, now we're making sense. And
Okay.
the other thing is, I like that you have a T and CT controlled mid, kind of, right?
Hmm.
Like, but CTs don't actually control this part of mid.
No, they don't get a lot of opportunity. Okay.
And I think that's another like general gameplay thing is if you're gonna have two mids, and one of them sort of feels like it should be more T controlled, right, with all these connectors, the other one should definitely be more CT controlled, and it kind of is, right? Like
Hmm.
I can totally imagine popping a smoke and a molly down here, and then like this guy's kind of gonna be pretty focused on this, I think.
Hmm.
Like that's the other issue is like I don't know how I would play something like this because I need to watch this area of mid,
Hmm.
and you can see I have two
Okay.
options,
Yeah.
so that's nice. Like this is the better option, right? You can really hold
Yeah.
the connector from here, but still, like the T's have all of this, and they're funneling out into this tiny room, and this is where T1 is right. This is a bad area,
Okay.
so I think what I would do is maybe like move these entrances to here and here so that there's a purpose to this lane, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise, no one is going to come here at all.
Which is a shame
So I
because it
would,
looks really like I think it's the nicest
yeah,
looking part. One of them.
this is the best part of the map for sure, but it's useless. So I would just yeah move the entrances here and here, and then I would have the upper back here playing up into the mid, and then you could even have like a sniper lane like this that look down towards A, so that if you're playing back of B, you can help out with the A site defense. That would be my feedback. But
Okay.
honestly, I think that this map can work as it is if you just move up the CT spawns. Honestly, and then you'd have to clip that,
Yeah.
and I think it would be fine. It's not competitive, but it could be fun and casual. All right.
Okay.
I want to spend the most time on Hay Fever.
Really? Okay.
This is a great map. This is fun.
Yeah.
I think that this map is promising. Yeah.
Okay.
And especially considering you're just like now getting into Hammer. Granted, after plenty of time thinking about level design in general, this map is good. The major criticisms that I have for this map are in artwork.
Yes. I agree.
So gameplay wise, the map is set in a maze. So you would expect it to have a pretty unintuitive and maze-like layout, and it does. You still have 2.5 lanes, 1 lane, 2 lane, and a half lane, which winds up kind of behind the site with like a kind of wonky and unconventional choke here.
Yes.
Right? And I see exactly where you're going with this. The CTs have such a nice timing to the site that they have plenty of time to set up and do whatever weirdness and kookiness they're going to do. Maybe they'll push this lane. I like that if the CTs push this lane, and only if they push this lane, they get access to the heaven. So there's a risk and a reward.
And there's also the risk of their shadow, because I tried to make sure that the light would cast in. You could, like, if someone's camping on tractor, they can see that shadow. But if someone's camping on tractor, people can see your shadow. So it's like it's a combat of awareness. Like if you're on if you're standing on there, like if you go behind the windshield, like on the other side, on the front, right there, your shadow is glaringly on the floor. Anyone with eyes is going to see you. So.
Oh wow! See, even more depth. And then you can. I messed that up. You can throw a nade and kill them or something.
Right. At least scare them.
Maybe not. Yeah. So
I'll also, sorry, real quick, I'll also get out ahead of you and say that light on the floor in sight is gone. It's not there anymore. That was a mistake. It was a bad idea. It had good intentions. I just think the shadow was a little too harsh. I moved the light up, so now it's like a way less revealing of a shadow, but still revealing. Because I just didn't think that was fair.
This. No, I think this is fine.
Okay.
It might not have played fairly. But I think it's totally cool. I mean, remember, not everyone is Nico. They're not going to like see a shadow come around a corner.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, like some people need a little bit of help. You know. So art wise, the world is pretty basic, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm very excited to show you what's coming up as well. But
sweet, good. So my main takeaway is just that the whole map is only set inside of the maze. And like my first instinct looking at this is where is the hay stored? Is there a barn over here? Is there a fairground? Like, are there rides going on? Is there a market?
Right.
Like, are there people selling hot dogs? You know, what about like the buckets where you can plunge for apples? You know, like the fair is a great setting. And I like that the bomb site is set in the hay maze and everything, but I feel like there could be more variety to like the kinds of spaces that you get to play in, because this would get pretty monotonous pretty fast.
I think the choke, having that weird wonky choke point, I've already changed that a little bit, but you saying like a barn, that would be super, like even a little barn just to break up the visual, and then, you know, if you get shot there, you can be like, he's in the barn and not that he's in the purple hay bale wonky paperclip.
Yep. And the other thing that's definitely missing on this map is height variation. You have a little bit playing on top of this and a little tiny heaven here, but a barn would give you that opportunity to like get up over everything and like look out with like a lookout window.
Oh, I have an idea already. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Then the other thing is I hate this fence.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Yeah, it works, but like get rid of the whole thing and give me some.
It's on the way. It's on the way. I promise. I can't show you.
Yeah, it's set in. Is this set in the US or is this set
in US UK type thing?
yeah, you should totally do like a nice like farm village sprawling all around it, you know, with like
Mm.
the rolling like mounds of dirt, like they just sowed the earth
Mm-hmm.
for fall and everything for winter,
Yeah.
you know, all of that. And like cornfields, like Iowa is like such a nice setting for something like this.
Mm.
But you know, whatever floats your boat. I don't know where people farm in
It's
England, but
all over.
somewhere. Cornwall,
Cornwall, I
Cornish.
would say, yeah, Cornish, like pretty much everywhere in the UK that isn't a town is farming. So,
Huh, the more you know. I thought they
um,
were all pirates. No, I'm joking.
uh, I will show you then what the edits I made after talking to T1,
Sweet.
because so already right off the bat, we've got this little like platform which I imagine is built for the fair, like a little show stage or something.
Cute. Yeah,
And the other thing is, I'm bringing
much
this thing
better.
out, lots of fences. I took out the
So much
hook,
better. Yeah.
and I put this little like boost. I don't know if I think it would have to be a boost. So you can hold like a slightly off angle here.
Hmm.
Opened up this as well. And detailing this is going
Yeah.
to be hell, but at least like it already feels a lot less claustrophobic. The one place I might keep the wall is T1 had this idea of putting like a wooden little tunnel loop in here,
Oh,
just to break up the sort of wall and just make it feel like, this place was designed to have a fun like summer adventure. Also, new tractor.
yeah.
Uh,
That's a lot better. Nice tractor.
Still jank,
Blender.
but a lot better. I just got a free use like copyright free model,
It's
but I'll
good. No, it
definitely
looks good.
replace it. But yeah, those are
T1's
like
idea
some of the
there.
changes.
I think you could execute T1's idea a little better.
I do too.
That
It's
tunnel
definitely a
looks
first
cringy,
draft. Yeah, it does.
but I think what I would say is this is actually even a better opportunity to do another kind of farming like barn building. Like, what if
Mm-hmm.
that's like the stable and you walk through like a horse stable there, and there's like
True.
two entrances to it, and then you can see like all the horses going back or whatever. It's just like,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
like a farm and all that. You know, there's so many different like
There's no
opportunities for
need
that
to
stuff.
limit myself to just hay.
Yeah. And then my last piece of feedback
Mm-hmm.
is the ground being the same texture as the walls is super monotonous.
Yeah.
Have you used the material editor yet?
A little bit. I've had a go, but it didn't go great.
All right. What I want you to do is take this beautiful ground texture that you've taken from Overpass, I believe.
It's from Anubis actually.
Oh, this is from Anubis. Interesting. Well, I would take this
Yeah.
and I would turn it into a blend texture with the hay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh wait, let me see this
the
ground. Oh,
the
that
other
ground
thing is,
texture. Yes, that's from Anubis. Yeah, sorry.
yeah,
That's from Overpass. My
somewhere.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I believe you can find muddy textures just like
Mm-hmm.
this online for free. Look up like Ambient CG is a nice like online warehouse with tons of
Mm-hmm.
textures. And um, yeah, if not, you'd probably be able to decompile the texture. And then what I would do is just take this hay texture and turn it into a blend texture. And the way you do that is if you hit tools and then go to material editor.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong tools. Yeah, that
Ah,
tool's up there.
tools,
Yeah.
material editor.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got it open. You
Um,
can't see it, but
no, I can see
oh
it
no,
now.
you
Yeah.
can.
What you're gonna
Okay.
do is you can create a new texture, and you're gonna click on CS:GO Environment Blend.
Cisco environment
So
blend.
see where it says,
Okay.
shaders. See where it says shaders.
Shaders.
You know what?
Show dev
Hit Command
shaders.
Save. First hit
Command
Command
save.
Save. Control
Okay.
Save. Yeah, and that'll open up a window, and you can just like name the texture. Call it hay fever underscore ground blend.
Okay. So just make this as is and then save it.
Yeah. Well, no,
Uh
saving it
oh.
creates the file. Otherwise, you don't have a
Okay.
file.
Okay. So file save.
Oh wait. Also, before you save it, in hay fevers, you're gonna have to make a new folder that's called materials inside of your map file.
Mm-hmm. Hay fever. I've got a materials folder. Yep.
Sweet. Okay. Then you can save it right there, and it'll make a file called a vmap file.
Okay, so file, save as, put it in Hay Fever Wingman Materials and call it, what'd you say?
Call it ground blend.
Underscore? I'll do ground underscore blend.
Yeah.
Ground blend. Okay.
Sweet. And then CSGO environment blend is the shader. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Then what you're going to do is, do you see that material layer?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you hit the browse button? And I want you to find this mud texture.
Okay, so see. Is this a search bar? Yeah, it is. Mud. Okay, and it was. It
This
was. I think it's this one, overpass, or it's like wet mud. It's one of these ones. We'll go with this one because it's got footsteps in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. It should. Did you select it?
I did. I didn't do anything. Let me try again. Okay. Let's accept. What? Strange.
Interesting.
Let's try that again.
Maybe if you click the file button instead of the search button.
Yeah, maybe. But then it's the. That just brought up my like my
Oh no, wrong
file
one.
explorer.
Yeah. No, that's the file explorer. Yeah, it should be the
Weird.
search button.
I wonder why it's not applying.
Well, why don't you grab the hay one instead?
Okay.
You should be able to search for this. Yeah.
Hay sand blend. Why is it not applying? What's going on?
Is it actually?
This one is labeled green. Maybe I'll try this one that's labeled green.
Yeah, that's weird.
No, it just won't apply.
I wish I could see your whole screen.
I can't because it'll double my microphone and it'll drive you insane.
It'll do weird stuff, yeah.
Okay, maybe if I just close the material editor and reopen it.
Probably, to be honest.
Material editor, okay, then open my new material. Open from file. Materials, ground blend. And mud. Is it because it's already a blend? Could that be it?
There might be a two-way blend shader. So if you change from CSGO environment blend to like blend or something. Because I'm
no.
No? Well, I'm pretty sure there's a way to blend textures. I mean,
blend effects 2? Could that be it?
I don't think so. Yeah.
I wonder why this is happening.
Well, you can always look up how to make
yeah,
it, but the idea is that you can just select the first material, which is that mud texture, and the second one, which is the hay texture, in the green. So the red one will be the mud, and the green one will be the hay, and then you can just save it, and then you'll have basically you'll be able to do, you know how you vertex painted the wetness here? You'll be able to blend in hay slowly into the file as well. So then the whole ground can be mud, and around the hay bales you'll be able to put more hay.
So it'll be less monotonous.
And at the same time you can also layer wetness around. So the other thing I want you to do is like use the displacement tool to subdivide the floor, and I want you to like just very slowly like put little like dimples in the ground where you can walk.
Okay.
Like very, very small, just 1 or 2 units deeper.
Okay.
And that way the hay bales you can have like stuff like this sticking up and it'll look really good. So there's like a variety of like little things you can do. I just want to say though, in general, this is a huge improvement from your previous 2 maps.
That's very good.
This is a good map. Yeah.
Okay. That's so good. Thank you. That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that feedback, firstly. And then I guess finally we can do a little quick fire review of the sketches if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, I really appreciate the time. Yes, screen share would be cool. If you want to copy paste them into PaintNet and do the same thing, that would also be cool.
For sure. Yeah. I've got right here. No, yeah.
Yeah, I
Let me
renamed
see.
them so they would appear in order because for T1 they appeared out of order.
So I can take this, and yeah, I can totally copy and paste this into Paint. No worries. So I believe that this is the final version that I'm looking at on top, right? So then
Uh,
the first
the
version is on the bottom.
they're labeled. They should be named 1 map, 2 map, 3 map, 4 map. So
Oh,
the
one map is the first one.
yeah, 1 map is the first, and these are just chronological. They're not iterations of the same map. They're just these handicap exercises where my partner did one thing or two things, and I had to work around them. So in this one, my partner drew the bomb site and wrote the word sneeze, and sneeze. I had very bad hay fever at the time, so that's where the idea came from.
That's a good one.
And
Well,
I
I think
mean,
it's really nice. Yeah.
translation wise, it's pretty similar to what the final is, at least at the stage that you were looking around it.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, I can already see this theme is gonna continue with the deep pocket here. Same as out here.
yeah.
You've got like this looking thing. My thing is like, if you're breaking down a layout like this, immediately there's more positive space, right? Which
Mhm,
is going to be where you can play, than there is negative space, which is areas you can't play.
mhm.
And in general, um, obviously you can get away with a lot with wingman maps, but in general, that's a big no-no. Um, you want to have more of these black areas than you have of the white areas you can actually play.
Okay.
Um, what it'll do is it just ensures that there's not too much going on, right?
Okay.
For the player. Um, but immediately I can already see like you've got the tractor here and everything. So
Yeah.
we've gotten a lot going on here.
Yeah.
I think
So
my biggest
just for context, these all of these sketches were done before hay fever was ever put in Hammer.
yeah, of
So
course.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm reviewing
they're
the
all done
sketch
in
right now. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying like when I'm here, when I'm sketching something,
Mhm.
one of the things that I do is I literally draw out where my geometry is going to be once I put it into Hammer.
Okay,
So I literally like do this and I break down the space and I think about like where the different cuts in the geometry are going to be.
that's a great idea. I should definitely do that.
So like for example, I can do that, right?
Mhm. Okay.
And you can see how I'm starting to think about breaking apart the space, cuz like check out this problem here. Like how are you supposed to merge a grid like this with a grid like that without creating triangles?
Mhm.
So you would need to kind of
You have
bend
to make some.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? And
Okay.
now I'm keeping quads, but so I'm already thinking about, so I'm never not in Hammer, if you know what I'm
Okay.
saying.
That
Like
I like that. I like that a lot.
when I'm drawing, I'm still in Hammer. I'm just using my brain to do everything.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna move on to the second. Let's see what
Yes.
changed here. Yes, this one. This was my favorite.
That's so. This is very interesting to me because over of all of them, I think this one is one of the ones I like the least. But so far,
Oh.
you and T have both that one in your top three.
I
I
always
think
thought it
that's
was
really
interesting
interesting.
that I think it's interesting that there's kind of like a right answer in a way.
Hmm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's strange. I think it's funny that T1 agrees with me though, considering that we've agreed on so much, and he's always thinks so differently about mapping. I can't wait to hear what he thinks like the differences between like our mapping ethoses are. I bet it's going to be really fun.
I
Uh,
hope so.
yeah. So with this one, I
Yeah.
think the biggest issue is going to be these sight
The
lines. If
sight
I can
line,
draw in a straight line,
the
yeah.
horizontal one is awful.
Well, this one is just as bad.
Yeah, that
And
one is
then
pretty bad.
you've got sight lines like this one, which might be cut off, might not be. Hard to say.
Hmm.
I wonder if there's like a line tool in Paint. Do you know?
I don't use Paint.net. I'm a Photoshop user.
Yeah, well, I believe that would also be a sightline here
Mm,
if you like pixel peeked it, that looks like a sightline. Then you have sightlines like this and probably like this that cut through your map in pretty awkward ways. And
right. Yeah, of
of
course. That one
course,
goes
this one.
directly across. Yeah.
But let's not forget about stuff like
Mm.
this that probably exists.
Like a that could probably be like a headshot angle because the steps and stuff. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so for this map, and I'll do this like for all the ones just so you know where the handicap was. This one I drew the bomb site shape, and my partner drew that little squiggly hallway, and that right above the bomb site, that one, and said don't erase that, and you do everything else. And I was like, okay, I can work with that. Um, and I think
That's
that
a
that
really
part is
smart
my
system. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely got its challenges, and like I said at the start or before we recorded, like this, my partner does not play Counter Strike. They only watch me play Counter Strike, so they're throwing these challenges at me purely from like just them being able to draw and not like their inherent knowledge of like
That's
Counter
interesting.
Strike map layouts.
So out of curiosity, I just want to let you know, like my favorite part of the map actually was this. I thought this was cool.
Okay.
So, um, but aside from that, I just wanted to say that what was I gonna say? I had an important point. Ah, me and my brain, we don't get along. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I was actually gonna draw a comparison here to what T1 was telling you about using real life architecture. In a way, your partner is creating walls just the same way that T1 finds walls in real life and puts them into Hammer, right?
Hmm.
You can't change this, right?
No.
And so the entire map grows around it. And it's kind of like a seed that you can start with,
Hmm.
and then like you're going to build off of that from there, right?
Hmm.
Like all points start here and then progress outward.
Yeah.
Um and actually what the thing that I encourage most is not just to have one or two, but have every important area in your map have its own seed, and then figure out how the paths, right, all the connectors are going
Hmm.
to connect them. That way you don't have like soulless regions of your map like this
Yeah.
that are just kind of like, what if this was here and that went there? And like,
Right.
what kind of a building actually goes here? Is this like an amphitheater?
Yeah.
You know,
That's yeah.
like,
I see what you mean.
are they? Is
Okay.
this Greece? Like, so I want to call you to instead envision like this is going to be a like a castle,
Right.
and right here is going to be the dining hall, and the entrance will be here and the exit will be there, and then there will be a grand flight of stairs that goes this way, you know, or whatever you want, you know. But
Right.
like trying to think about the architecture is very important. What I
Yes.
like here is this section,
Hmm.
because this section, right, with a loop under the lovely playable bomb site, and then this road that goes back underneath this way, right?
Hmm.
I believe that's the elevation, right? This is going up
it could
with a
be. I
window as
think
a
it
drop.
is. Yeah. It's kind of it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is actually really cool. So if I were to say something, it would be just this area here, keep it.
Okay. And just build again around it.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
build it again around it. But the other thing is don't just keep the circle in the center. Also, this is like a circle,
Hmm.
so maybe there could be a circle around it, and
Okay.
that connects it to the spawns, you know. So for pathing purposes, like where would the connectors be? Yeah, they're there and there for sure, but like having two over here, like this is the general path thing that you actually have going on here, right?
Yeah.
With like a so
Okay.
this is this is like, you know, in my videos I talk about the line stage.
Yes.
I just want to show you what that would look like for something like this. So the general lines that you have going on is the main lines are this, that, and then you have a split path, and you have a split path here that leads to two more forks,
Hmm.
right? So double bifurcation leading in back into the main loop in the center. And then you're also going to have this outer path that connects up and then this is overcomplicated, another outer
Yeah.
path that connects
Okay.
up. And now we get into the CT side where you're going to have one main connection that goes here, and you have an entire second route that goes to the bomb site. That's
Hmm.
not actually a bad idea. Not connected to anything, but a guaranteed safe route into the site, and it gives you a purpose to go this way. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, once you go this way, you're facing a fight. So something like this might have a place, but I think ultimately it should come back from here.
Okay.
And one thing you'll notice is that this is like highly symmetrical,
Hmm.
but
So
I think,
breaking it up a little bit, making it a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
the best way that I could say to do that is instead of having this little kind of apartment that goes through, I would actually start the apartment like in a neutrally so let's talk about control here now.
Hmm.
What areas are controlled by what? And that's the way that you find your half a path, right?
Yeah.
Is actually by determining control of areas. And we still haven't done the bomb site yet, by the way. We haven't even touched it. Like we're only like this doesn't exist yet, okay?
No. Okay.
So let's just pay attention to the pathing and in fact forget about everything else. So I'm actually going to give us a new layer that's going to be directly right here. I'm just going to fill it with white.
All right.
Okay. So now you have no excuse to whoopsies. Thank you. Um, to think about the bomb site as you had designed it. Okay.
Hmm.
So talking about control now, CT is here, right? And T side is going to be down here. Let's think about timings. So first, let's split the map in half. This is immediately like your line of, and I'll do that in purple so you can see this is your line of scrimmage. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to more or less follow this all the way throughout your map. Okay. Because your map is super symmetrical, there's not going to be any deviation to this.
Okay.
Um, so in general, whoever gets to a sight line first, right? Whoever controls the top elbow is going to control the sight line. So let's draw in blue over paths that are controlled by. Let me just redraw that line of scrimmage on a new layer so we can see what we're doing. In blue, we're going to draw CT controlled areas. So this sight line has CT control. This sight line has at least partial actually. So let me like label this as light blue. This is like extremely partial CT control over here, partial CT control here, right? Partial CT control here, and partial CT control there. Now we're going to talk about T control. So the T's start out with this long sight line,
Hmm.
and they start out with this long sight line, right? Which by extension gives them soft control. They don't have time to get to this corner before they're seen by CTs, right?
Hmm.
So actually, let me just draw that in slightly. Like this is passively CT controlled. So then they have their own soft control of these two lanes, right?
Right.
And now we're going to describe the no man's lands, and no man's lands I'm going to draw in green.
Okay.
This is no man's land,
Right.
right? No
Guaranteed
one
fight.
controls this. Yeah. The other thing is because you have safety as a T here, but you don't have safety here. See, it's all passively CT controlled.
Hmm.
I'm actually going to redraw this in yellow. T's don't control the top corner, therefore they don't control the path here,
Right.
right? So then the heavy T control is only back here. And now is where we get into the issue of your only safe places are here, therefore you have no safety as a T. That's why you need to have something to fight for that'll give you, for example, a rotation out, like that, for example, could
Hmm.
work. Um, I'm going to talk deep CT now. So deep CT control is everything past this line. All
Right.
of this is deep CT control. So actually not the top. The tops are also passive. So we've got passive CT control, and then above it, deep CT control that extends all the way to the site along all of these different paths, right? You're following along?
Yes.
All right, now it's time to actually build the bomb site. Where
Okay.
should the T entrance be? I'll give you a hint. I drew a circle around it.
The no man's land.
Yeah. So let's draw the first entrance to the site, which is going to be right here. This will be our main entrance.
Hmm.
So CTs have a really good shot at defending this.
Yeah.
All right. What about second and third entrances? Where should they be?
It would have to be at one of the passive CT control points.
Why would it have to be this one?
Uh, because there's a slightly like tighter angle, I think, or something that gives them a little bit more power.
Yeah, it's because you want to combine all of this.
Right. Yeah, you want to get as
Um,
much line of sight out of the bomb site as possible.
Perfect place for a heaven, right
Okay.
here. Yeah. So that would mean the last entrance would be all of this combined into one, which would be your half an entrance,
Okay.
right? So I can even extend that out. All of this can be one room. So now let's talk about blocking. That'll be
Mm.
the next stage, right? Now that you've drawn lines, and you can do all of this on paper with like a marker,
Yeah.
and then you can just trace. You can like put another paper on and trace it. Um, so blocking is the next step. And with blocking, I'm just gonna lower this opacity down. And I'm also gonna lower this down so it's like a lot less intrusive. And I think this line could also be lowered significantly, right? So you can see what's going on now.
Mhm.
So blocking is literally just la 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 up to the top. Thank you. Taking the bits and then just like putting these boxes around it so you can kind of see more or less like how the map is going to be
Right.
constructed.
Geometry wise. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just do this very fast.
Fair enough. I know we have other sketches that.
Yeah, lots of other sketches, but I want to do this one time, so I'm just going
Okay.
to do it for this one. This was my favorite, so I
Okay.
want to
Yeah,
create
that
it.
makes sense. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So this is as fast as I can possibly do this. Obviously, I would spend like 30 minutes doing each of these steps if this was my own map.
Right.
But this is yours, so I'm just going to do this fast. Yeah, something like this, and maybe this connects up here, comes down, and then this is going to connect up to the heaven as well. Right? Sloppy, but fine.
Yeah.
Here's that red entrance here. It doesn't quite line up with anything, but then there should be like a path coming here, the main path, stuff like this, right? And all of this is too narrow, but we'll come back and I'm not going to do the finalization step,
That's
but you
okay.
get what the next step is.
Yeah.
Like you see the picture here, right? Like I'm drawing
Do.
the outline around the lines.
Yeah, I'm catching that.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. And then final spot would just be the T-spawn itself, right? Easy peasy. And yeah. So and then the bomb site itself, right? Now we get to say like there's going to be maybe like this, that, and then all of this is like contained, and then I would just draw it like this would be your site.
Okay.
Something like this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna close this. I guess I'll save it as a paint.net. Call it ref. Whoopsies, I just closed paint.net. I wasn't supposed to do that. All right, let's go to 3.
Okay.
Oh, I like this one too. Yeah, I forgot about this one. Yeah, this one's good.
Okay, interesting. So for map 3, my partner drew almost the entire outline and said, you can erase what you need to, but otherwise try and just keep what's drawn.
Interesting.
So yeah, the blue line is like the part that I slightly erased and did my own like underpass, overpass type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of
This
that,
is
the
good.
entire outside shape is my partner, and then all the blocks on the inside and stuff like that is me.
So talking about map control here, once again, I'm just going to draw that line of scrimmage right down the middle. And now you can really start to appreciate that CTs are going to be controlling everything north of here, right? And the Ts are going to be controlling everything south.
It's a lot more even than the last.
So the last map has battle areas,
Yeah.
which are like the long areas you have to fight for control over. This has choke points. So your first choke is the bridge.
Yep.
And then your second choke is going to be this right here, because soft CT control will be here and here and here, right? Meaning that you have a choke, right, that you have to get past, and you have a choke you have to get past here. But let's talk about no man's land. We've got some right in here underneath the bridge here is perfect for lurking, because you're not going to be like watching either of these at the same time, so you'll have to pick one, which is nice, especially for a wingman map. So we've got a main choke, a secondary, and then a third lane, and it's all very easy for CTs to handle. So again, as a CT, you might choose to play this passive and stay back in like better, more defensive positions, maybe on the bomb site. Ts get so much control that realistically you're gonna just be fighting over the one major like battle area in the middle here,
Hmm.
which is different compared to your other maps so far. This
Okay.
one has the most like direction. I don't think it's as promising as the previous one, but this would
Hmm.
actually be like a good wingman map that people could learn. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, this would probably play a lot like similarly to Overpass, where it's like
Okay.
very same round over and over again, but not unentertaining to play. You know,
Okay.
um, I don't think there's as much like room for strategy. It's like an aim,
Yeah,
more like an aim duel with
it
like
is.
a little bit of like gotcha energy. You know,
Yeah, there's not a lot of like there's no flanks going on. There's none of
no
that. So
flanks. Yeah. Maybe rarely, because remember, if you
mm,
kill a teammate, you might like walk behind and knife someone or
yeah.
something, but not common.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, 4. So this one. So this one is my least favorite. Did
Yeah,
you
I
like this one?
agree. I agree. I think this is probably my least favorite. Like one of them.
Yeah. So my main issue with this one is you've gone back to the original sin of very long sightlines
Yes.
that cut across your entire map. Like this one. This one is very powerful. This one is just absurd. Um,
Hmm.
and what these super long sightlines do is, if we just talk about control, so I'm gonna once again draw a line of scrimmage across the map. We've gotten so much no man's land. All of
Yeah.
this is no man's land,
Half of
right?
T spawn is no man's land. Yeah.
Yeah, this is all no man's land. This is all no man's land here, all the way back here. The CTs
Right.
can't even peek this. Like they kind of can, but it's all realistically no man's land.
Hmm.
And then this over here, all of this past this is all of this is no man's land.
Hmm.
And everything else is kind of passively CT controlled, except like let me draw like the major CT controlled areas are here, right?
Hmm.
But then at the second that a CT starts peeking into anything,
Hmm.
it's passive.
Right.
Because the T's have this really bad situation going on where they control like back here
Yeah, they
and they
control about an
control
inch.
back there and they control like up to there. But the second they start peeking into anything,
Hmm.
they're they're like completely exposed to just like crazy stuff. And this in
Yeah.
particular is like the bastion of terrorist side freedom. I'm gonna
Hmm.
call that X marks the spot right there.
Right.
Um, you can get there kind of depending on whether but if both CTs are watching this, this is actually CT side controlled as well.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna draw like a
Right.
slightly, you know. So
Uh-huh.
we've gotten a lot of strategy here, but this is like a sniper map, and it's not
Hmm.
like I could totally resurrect this idea and like take the same pathing like this. This
Hmm.
would work, but the execution,
I agree. I think the
yeah,
T1's had a really good note on this map, which is where that box is, like right there. That box, he
yeah,
said, turn that box into a door, like a squeaky. Um, and I
and then
thought,
close that off.
mm-hmm. And then that way, like, if you push that door, they're gonna hear that might take them away from the long angle peak, or if you fake that door, then that can take them away, and then you can flank. And I definitely agree. I think that
That's a really good
immediately,
point. Yeah. But then that yields the question, where is the interior on this map?
yeah, where the hell
Because
is it?
this map, that's another one of my pet peeves is actually that
Mm,
like outside versus inside. When you're drawing a layout like this, there is no inside, but some of the spaces are so cramped that it kind of feels like it should be a hallway in a building, kind of,
right.
right?
I agree. I
So
totally agree.
I just think that there could be some more work. So I'm gonna go ahead and disable that, and I'm gonna copy in the next map.
Okay.
Map 5. Oh, this one is good too. Yeah, this one's fine. The the principal issue that I have with this map um, is also having to do with no man's land because there's a lot of it.
Okay. Seems to be a trait of my current map making method.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll definitely be
So
working on that.
so this time the spawns are situated here, meaning that the line of skirmish will be running between them more or less like that.
Hmm.
So now it's corner to corner, so you can't just split the map in half like this, right?
Yeah.
Because T's control more this way and CT's control more that way. Okay, you get that?
Hmm.
So now it's time to think about T controlled areas versus CT control. So T's get not there. You want to know why?
It's line of sight from the bomb site.
No, from CT
Oh,
spawn.
from CT spawn. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a couple of these, like you always have to think about long sight lines first.
Mm.
And your map should have a few long sight lines. Long sight lines are very important,
Not that long though.
but not this one here. Like
No.
now we know exactly where CTs are going to be. Right
True.
here. They're going to be on this spot with an op almost every game, meaning this is actually the perfect place to put a box.
Okay.
So sometimes when you have like a convergent long sight line, you can just put a box somewhere. Or you can pick one of the angles and block it off. But having one or two long sight lines is important.
Okay.
So I don't even like hate this one because
Hmm.
it's very passive. See, this is a passive angle, right? Like it's not aggressively peeking all the way down into T spawn from
No.
CT spawn the way that this one is. This one's bad.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah,
could probably be
this
remedied by getting rid of that weird fork though in the T in that part the T path because that fork isn't really necessary. So just extending out that wall and
yeah,
that
I
would
totally
already.
agree. This is already yeah. So let's actually pretend that you did that
Okay.
because otherwise this map really fails to work at all.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna do this, um, and that'll make this area I think work actually pretty nicely.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna pretend that that's filled in. Oh, why am I working directly on your canvas? My bad. I'm gonna do the same thing, quicker. Perfect. Okay. So scrimmage, control. Do you want to break that down again, or do you get the idea?
I basically I do get the idea. Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I see. Yeah. Okay. I can see
So then
the sort of
I'll
control.
just say, yeah, you can see it, right? Yeah. So I'll just draw it in areas then. Ah! T, obviously CT, right? But
Hmm.
then you have a pretty large amount of no man's land running in underneath here that's going to be really awkward, which I kind of like
Hmm.
if it was separate from this long sight line maybe, but
Right.
maybe not because now as a CT you can sort of kind of come out
Yeah, you
here
can push into there.
and you can sort of kind of control this, but again if the T is actually like watching it you can't, which
Mm.
means that there's going to be an uncomfortable amount, like this is uncomfortable over here, and then the other thing is like as a CT you can actually push down the tunnel, which is going to mean that like this area kind of also has some slight CT control as well. And so as a T, you're going to be very uncomfortable coming out this way, that there
Yeah.
might be a flank coming from here. And then
Mhm.
finally, the most simple part of the map is just the T's control this, but the CTs have the sight line that watches this over here as well from the bomb site.
Right.
So it's going to be like,
It's going
like
to be
this
pretty
is just,
aware for a map. Like
yeah,
you've got to be paying a lot of attention.
this is, yeah, very like high amount of awareness map. And then I think in general, the biggest issue is that I think actually CTs control this area a lot more than T's do.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, so it's just maybe like because of this. Um, they don't actually have to peek into the long angle because the long angle ends here.
Hmm.
So they control everything on this side, and T's control everything on this side of the line, right?
Hmm.
Anyways, with a little restructuring, I think this would work. Um, but
Okay.
it would need some help.
Hmm.
But I like the idea, and I think there's a really big place for maps that have a lot of flanking opportunities like this one. I
I
like
do
that.
like a good flank.
Yeah, yeah, this is fun. Like by all means, this is fun.
Mm.
I don't think that works. And then there's a nice loop in T spawn as well, which is always nice. So I'd say like the pathing is acceptable, but you'd have to break the map down into its components
Hmm.
and say this is what the map actually looks like, right?
Yeah.
Because as long as it's just the pathing that I drew, this works.
Hmm.
Redrawing this slightly more. This is fine, but only if this is a T route and you have to like boost to get in as a CT,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Because like it should be hard to do this coming out here, and then I think it would work. This
Okay.
is fine. Yeah.
Thank
All right.
you. Nice.
Next, we're almost done. Let's
Yes.
do this one. Ah, yeah. This one is, I think, your most structured. This one is a very straightforward map.
Okay.
Like I look at this and I kind of immediately get it in all ways. There's no curiosity here. It's
Hmm.
just, yeah, scrimmage, new layer, scrimmage. Here, it's just a very like T-side dominated map here. The CTs are going to be trying to hold the upper and trying to hold this area here. These are like the most CT-sided areas.
Yeah.
They have passive control into the bomb site. Passive. They have passive control into this connector, and they have passive control outside and into here. The T's, on the other hand, this is a rush map, are going
Okay.
to, yeah, the T's are going to be coming up these stairs, not these ones, because CT has controlled this. Let me just
True.
draw that sight line.
Yeah.
So the T's can optionally fight this as well, so I'll make sure to draw that as well. But all of this right here is no man's land.
Hmm.
Right off the bat, that's your no man's land, which extends into here, but
Right.
not here. The CTs control this, right? On the other hand, all of this is like more passively under T control back here because you can't come this way.
Just
But
for
so,
clarity,
yeah,
I obviously get what you mean by no man's land, but more specifically, I guess you're indicating like it's a point where if your footfall is there, there's a non-zero chance or like a 50-50 chance someone is going to be aiming at you. It's like contested, right? Okay.
yeah. So what I mean is, if I come this way, I might die right away because someone with a
True.
sniper is holding me.
Hmm.
Or if they have like a deagle or a USP, they can just one tap and headshot, and I'm out of the game.
Mm,
So in general, off of round start, I want to take my knife out and get map control, which means I'm not going to go this way
fair enough.
because the same thing works conversely. The CTs certainly aren't going to peek this because I could have an AK and I could be holding it down. They don't
Yeah.
want to go this way, and that means that this is such a risky area that it becomes this green color, which is that contested. So
Right.
it's not that like if you make a footstep you're gonna immediately die because there might
Okay.
not be anyone here at
Yeah.
all.
Like a
Most of
50-50.
the because it's if it's bad for both teams to go here, then it's a risky route. You
Right.
understand? And that's the way that a wingman map should work. There should be
Hmm.
two orange lanes for T's, right? And one green lane. That's going to be your risky route. Where like the CTs kind of have it, but like the CTs don't really need to hold it, but it's powerful. So
Right.
that's why it's structured, you know?
Okay.
But the key thing here is just that your two main entrances are so T side controlled here. Like the CTs only already have passive control of an angle like this. The T's kind
Yeah.
of get there first, like they can
True.
hold it from here. So the bomb site is just already controlled and dominated by T's, and they have the upper hand to flank around and clear the CT when they're only there.
I see.
So, well, not there, but probably here. So the sight line is again T favored here. Like they get to
Hmm.
this corner when the CTs are like hiding, and this is closer to the site. So I think this is going to be a very T sided map,
Okay.
especially if you throw a couple smokes. Yeah.
Okay.
You would have to redo the bomb site to make this one work.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's see. Yes, this one is also good, but
Okay.
I think that this one could use some major touch-ups. Ah, why didn't it did paste? There we go. Yeah. So for this one, we come to the problem, which is like a very choked up map design.
Hmm.
So where your other maps have a lot of no man's land, this one doesn't.
No.
This is
So
like
it's
Anubis. Yeah. If you look at Anubis, it has zero no man's land. everything is controlled off of round start, except for like underpass, kind of, but that's like mostly CT controlled.
Right.
So just
Yeah, I
showing that
see.
this isn't, you can't see, right? So
Mhm.
let's draw in
It could be.
the
I was
control.
torn between if it was thin walls or if it was pillars or something. Like, I don't know if the side is open or not, but we'll go off the assumption that it's not.
Yeah. So drawing deep CT and deep T control is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously all of this back here. You don't have the timing to run all the way back here, but actually you kind of do. This is all deep CT, meaning that the no man's land is going to extend from here, or the contested areas are going to be here. All of this in particular. But I'd say more T side controlled actually. So I'll draw like a light T. So the T's are going to lightly control this lane out here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then into here as well. Light T congestion. So this also works. See, this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a little choked up because where do the CTs have passive control?
Oh, pretty
Here,
much nowhere.
here, and here.
Mm-hmm.
So ignore the green. Actually, this is just it's plain and simple, just like this. Actually, no, keep the green. Keep the green. It's more CT sided, but it's also this is like the most dangerous.
Yeah.
And then this one as well is like sort of kind of contested a little bit, but it's like a sliver like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously this, but not really. Like this is just like that. So you kind of only have like two, like you have 3 chokes and all of that. And then like, why would you actually watch this entire side of the map? Because there's only 2 entrances to the bomb site,
Right.
and you can get there. You can get there for free. So as a CT, I would always play one here and one here, and I would just set up a crossfire, right?
True. Yeah.
And that's what I would do. So, not that would work every time. You know, you could get like mollied out pretty badly on this site, and then
Mm.
you'd have to rotate into the double sight line here, especially if the T's have a setup like this where they have one player here and one player here.
Yeah.
But again, you can solo this fight, and they can solo this fight. So this would just be kind of like boring at the end of the
Okay.
day, just because of the bomb site design. So for this one, it's the map itself works. It's just gonna play like Anubis.
Right. Which
Um,
is definitely
and
an
then
acquired taste.
yeah, I agree. This is what needs to be fixed. Is the
Okay.
site. All
Okay.
right, last
Thank
one.
you. That was the last one.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Thank you so much for that. That really is helpful. I'm really looking forward to like going over that footage again and like soaking all that in. I feel
Yeah, for
very
sure.
lucky to have had essentially a 1v1 map design coaching session. All right.
Well, I always love doing this stuff. So
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's get these last 2 pretty simple questions out of the way. I think you kind of answered question 11 already. So my long-term plan, whenever it is to call you back when a fun, relatively finished 5v5 map is made by me. And I'd love to call you back and like show it to you. And
Sweet.
if you'd be up for that.
Yeah, of course, I would totally be down.
And I mean, it sounds like, well, as you said, I think you'll be playtesting my maps in the coming months, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, for sure.
I look forward to it. And I guess the last question I have for you, Razzle, is do you have anything to promote?
Yeah, I mean, check out the Map Inc. Discord. I'm starting a YouTube channel, sort of, but it's probably not going to be for most of your viewers because it's pretty much for like it's just a devlog channel. You know, it's nothing much. But yeah, I would totally give you my channel if you want to promote it. So
Absolutely.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Razzle. It's been such a lovely time talking to you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Micropath. Yeah.
Bye.